I would like to reiterate here the importance of paying taxes, any type of taxes. It is for your nation, it is for your future, it is for your country, it is for yourself that you are building up this. Every year we are unabashedly, or we are not ashamed to say that so many rich people have left this country for other countries. Aren't we ashamed about it? That we cannot build a country and a powerful country, a country which everybody should be proud of and to return to this country, to be a part of the growing nation. But every year we hear only complaints and people with resources, people who are brilliant, people who have capabilities, people who have resources. These people are leaving this country and they are looking at other opportunities. Why? It is because that we have not given enough importance to our country. And we give importance when we take the action on our part. And one of the fundamental action is yes, with all the available information, with all the available exemptions, with all the available opportunities, let us pay my tax correctly and duly. See, there are sections of people who don't take this country as their own. It is not theirs. But for Indians who have born here, bred here, lived here for thousands of years, with ancient history behind them, this is their only country available to them. When somebody of that nature leaves this country, it goes to show to what levels we have descended to. Please don't treat this country as a gravy train. And don't treat this country as just an opportunity for getting out. Treat this country as your own. Treat this country as part of yourself. And then you will understand why all this trauma about paying taxes will be it will be a kind of a chalta hai. Yes, it has happened. We had to pay our taxes. We are living here. Our country has to grow. Let us give the money to the country so that the people at the helm of affairs will be able to take it. Many of the people who have opportunities here, who live off India, the gravy train as I call it, have incomes abroad. They have opportunities to buy out a citizenship anywhere in the world using Indian money. And then we call it NPAs in the banks. We call it, write it off as losses. But suppose we make this country a beautiful country, a great country, I'm sure this will come to an end. Unless we put an end to these opportunists who like to live off India, and that opportunity arises only when you serve your country as a part of the nation. Why I'm talking about this trauma of income tax and taxes. Why are we having these problems? It is because we have been ingrained within ourselves that we should cheat in order to survive. It is not necessary. It is not necessary to cheat and survive. If you live the right life, if you live the right, given the right opportunity, today there are a lot of opportunities, huge opportunities available for all the Indians available. You can look at the Atmanirbhar effort which has been put in by this government. I am talking about this government is because now we are going to a different trajectory. The past is the past. We had difficulties, but it's because of the growth stage. Let us not blame the past people, the government. We should not blame them because that was how they could bring out this country of the difficulties of what we experienced after independence. So let us not put blame as we people say, yes, that fellow did this. Yes, this fellow did this, that fellow did. Let's forget about it. Let us take it forward, keeping behind. Let us move the slush away and let us have a keen pathway for the water to flow. That is important. So my thought process which I am expressing to you is that let us learn to live and Why I'm talking about only about this particular aspect of tax. Other things I will talk later. I'm talking about this only aspect of taxes because everybody talks about taxes as if it's a traumatic, it is what you call getting into a hospital for a operation which is incurable disease. No, it is not so. It is something which you should take steps for your help, for your assistance. Because if I'm going to read out a lot of these exemptions available for you, I told you yesterday, take care of first of your interest. What is the interest? Your interest is your room, your house rent. That is allowable as an exemption. Your medical exemptions, that is available as an exemption. Your insurance premium, that is available as an exemption. Education to your children, a portion of the available as exemption. Medical health payment on behalf of your parents, that is available as an exemption. You can imagine the amount of what you incur as a part of your life expenditure is allowed an expenditure and only the balance you pay taxes. That is where I'm slightly differing. My only point is take all that into consideration. After that, your regular expenses, your life expenses. I'm sure your children would like to go for a movie, will like to go buy, your wife would like to buy a jewelry, your daughter would like to go for a mall. Keeping all this in mind, that expenditure, inclusive of this expenditure, if you have extra, try to put it into other opportunities of exemptions available. Don't put it into other opportunities which are available just to save tax and deny yourself the current pleasure of living in India. If you are able to understand of what I'm trying to convey to you, you will understand that I am trying to put forward a new thought process within you. The new thought process is don't put everything into somewhere just not to pay taxes. No, that is foolishness, that is stupidity, that is the dumbest activity anybody can indulge in. You're given so many, keep those exemptions in mind when you start looking at your taxation. Keep those exemptions in mind as you start the next year. Say the next assessment year will be 24-25. For 24-25, you have 23 and 24. You know your annual income, a possible income flow will be available to you, a possible cash flow will be available to you, and the possible expenditures which you will incur. Keep that in mind. Make a list of that. Make an Excel sheet, as you call it nowadays, modern. Make an Excel sheet. Look at that expenditure which you would like to incur. Then the additional expenditure which may be a necessity, like your food expenses, your traveling expenses, your petrol expenses, all that will be available. You can take that into consideration, which are not allowed. But that is an exemption, which expenditure which you need to incur. Then an additional expenditure is a movie, a jewelry, a dress, an additional dress for your daughter or for your son, a shoe, a beautiful shoe for your son, a gym membership. All these possibilities to take an expenditure. After all this, if you have any additional money which you feel that you would like to save tax on, you put that into all the other exemptions. But I'll give you one more thought process. Think about investing, pay the taxes, but invest that surplus in some kind of a interest earning investment. An earning investment, like something like a bond, something like a FD which is available for 365 days, a share which is giving 180% dividend over the years, something like that. Start looking at those investments. Don't invest that money. I will not invest it because I don't want to pay tax, so I'll put it somewhere and I will not pay tax. Don't do that. Don't change your mind, change your thinking process. Think everything beautifully. That additional money which you're going to invest, you're going to receive after 15 years or 12 years or 25 years, putting in insurance and life insurance, and you're going to get 2% return after 20 years. Just think about it. Rather than that, suppose you put that small amount of money into a recurring deposit or into something. You may see the flow of interest which is coming over the years rather than paying taxes will benefit you more, and you will see your standard of living going up. So my request and my thought process would be that think about all these before you decide, and just think of, just take the advice of, just put this here, you will save tax, you will not pay so much of tax. Put this here, you will not pay tax, you save so much. Is saving of tax important, or is it your cash flow of the future that is important? You must look at it. Life is cash flow. And life in cash flow would mean that you would require a certain funds of money at certain periods of time. You should be able to manage that flow of funds. And that managing of flow of funds will not arise only if you look at, I will not incur the expenditure because I will not save tax. But I will put it here because I save tax. What is tax? If you take all those exemptions into consideration, maybe your tax will be 18 to 25% of your total gross income. 20% you can't give it to your nation. Can't you think about it? And if you have the surplus cash, imagine your confidence level, your level of, I would say, I wouldn't say anything else, your confidence level. You feel happy. You know you have a kitty behind you. And somewhere you have some quick funds squirreled away just to take it for an emergency. Suppose you want to go for a wedding. You think 3 times before book a ticket. But if you squirreled away these kinds of, I've not saved it for the purpose of saving tax, but I've saved it for the future, where you can earn money, which gets cash flow, and you want to go on a pilgrimage that is available for you. You want to go on for a wedding at a quick thinking process. You can use that money. So my request would be to the general public is, do not look at investing somewhere just for the purpose of saving tax. Use those funds, if possible, to earn future money. It may not save you tax, but this immediate cash flow of the next year, not after 15 years, not after 20 years, will show you what level of confidence gets into you as you see that money going up like a water flows into a dam. Slowly it starts rising. It doubles up. Recently I saw a small Instagram video which said, one person asked a person, suppose you put a penny and double it every day, would you like to take that scheme or $1 million? Immediately we look at, $1 million will be useful for us. But you double that to one penny every day, on the 30th day you have $2 million, more than $2 million. That goes to show that taking the saving of tax for that moment may look beneficial to you. But as you put that pennies into the saving, into your pocket, into the savings account, into an investment earning account, you will see that taxes become irrelevant for you. At one time you'll say, pay my taxes, I'm having enough money, I would like to save that money, I like to use it for my own benefit, for my happiness. I am earning it, I pay my taxes, I spend my money on myself, I am happy, I want to spend it on my family. Not to keep it for another 25 years and know who's going to spend it. What is the purpose? Think about it and apply your mind. Thank you very much for listening to me.